Hi YouTube. So this is going to be an introduction to the World Wide Web brought to you by SpindlerAcademy.com. So what is the World Wide Web, or what is the internet, or what is a computer, I guess you could ask too. But we're just going to look at, for now, what is a website. So a website is a set of files on a computer accessible via the internet. So there's some words that I want to elaborate on in this definition. So a file is an object that stores data. So if I right click, go new, text document, that's a file. So we'll just call it file.txt. And you can open up this file and you can put words into it. But so that's a file. I'm not going to save it. I'm actually going to delete it. Delete. So that's a file. It's an object that stores data. And so what is a computer? Well, I'm recording this on a computer for one. You're probably watching this on a computer, whether it be a phone or a laptop or an iPad. A computer is just a programmable device, so something that follows instructions that are given to it. And then, so we've covered a file, we've covered a computer. So then what is the internet? Well, the internet is, well, let's start with the prefix there, inter. And if we go back to the Latin roots, inter just means between, as opposed to the prefix intra, which means within. So it means between something. So what does net mean? Well, net is short for network. So a network is just a bunch of computers, not even a bunch, it could be two or more computers that are connected together to each other via wires or Wi-Fi or anything that connects computers together, basically. So that's the internet. It's computers that are connected together between each other. And so you can actually have an intranet also, but that's the differences are kind of subtle. But an intranet is like a local internet. It's let's look up the actual definition. Intranet. So yeah, so the UC system probably has, for Irvine at least, they have an intranet. Is a computer network for sharing information easier within, so it's specific to an organization. So intra, notice how it says within an organization, and intra means within. So that's usually within an organization, whereas inter would be the entire, between computers, but usually the internet refers to the global internet, which is why we call it the World Wide Web. It covers the entire world. So what is the structure of a website, or how do you build a website, basically? Well, there's three parts. There's HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And HTML is like, well, this probably isn't going to change, but JavaScript is potentially changing. But you just need to know there's HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And that's about it. So to kind of give an example of this, I'm going to go to this URL, which a URL, I'll explain what that is later. But this just kind of shows what you can do with just HTML and CSS. So when you're building a website, you can usually just, like, if you're planning out the structure of it, you can use websites like jsfiddle.net or codepen.io, and this one uses CodePen. But if you want to just mess around with the CSS or the HTML, you can. So this is what HTML looks like, which this is a really more complicated version, and this is what CSS looks like. So let me show you a more simple version of that. So we're going to go to, actually, let's go to JSfiddle just to show the other one too. So this, as opposed to this showing the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript all at the top and then the browser at the bottom, this shows it. This is the browser. I'll just put in let's go. This shows the result right here, and the JavaScript and HTML and CSS are to the sides of it. So what I did right here was put in a paragraph tag. And I'm just going to write hello world. And this is the most simple HTML, I guess, you can write. And I'm just going to click run, and we get hello world right there. So that's pretty cool. We got text on the screen, and we have a white background. The text is black, and that's it. So if we, let's say we wanted to change the color of it, I could go P, which stands for paragraph. And then I go like that, and I go, what do I do? Background dash color colon, and we're going to make it blue. And this is the CSS. And so I'm going to hit run. Oh, that's the background color. Whoops. I meant to change the text color. Or I think it's just color. There we go. So that's one thing you can do with CSS, is change the background color. But there's lots of different things you can do with CSS. You can animate things, you can change the way a website looks. So this is pretty much a really simple website with the simplest hello world you can have, and just changing the color of the text. And then this is something that would be way more complicated, where it has lots of different, obviously lots of different attributes going on, and lots of different, lots of divs, which div is just like a container kind of. I shouldn't even say that, because that, well, a div is, yeah, it just means a container. It holds something else. But yeah, so that's that. So some other terminology that I briefly mentioned before, but I'll just explain again, are the browser and the URL. So the browser is what I'm using. So like this is a browser. So I'm using Firefox, but there's also Chrome, there's also Safari on Mac OS. There's also Edge if you're on Windows. I could open an Edge browser, but I'm not going to. And Edge used to be Internet Explorer, and now they call it Edge. They do call it Edge, right? Yeah, Microsoft Edge. And then what is a URL? So it stands for it's Uniform Resource Locator, I think. Uniform Resource Locator, yeah. And basically, so like if you're using my website as an example, you would go to HTTP or HTTPS, which the S just stands for secure. HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. And that's like what the internet uses, is HTTP or HTTPS if you're wanting to be secure about it. And then :// you just need that for like, you need it there, but that's just part of the address. So then the www stands for World Wide Web. You don't really need it, because if I just go to this, obviously loaded with Spindler Academy, but if I change it to just spindleracademy.com, it also works. So you don't really need the www. Spindler Academy is the website, and then .com. You can also have others than other. I forget. I think that's called top level domain, is what this part is called. But you can have others. There's .org, there's .edu, there's .tk if you know what that is. Good for you. But yeah, so there's a bunch of other ones, like UCSD. An example of a .edu would be UCSD. But yeah, so this has been an introduction to the World Wide Web. I hope you found it useful. Be sure to like and subscribe, and also check out my website, and enjoy the rest of your day or night or whatever it is. Okay, bye.